What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the DurrellDT podcast. I'm your host, Durrell, the host that be doing the most. Hope everybody's staying safe. And you know what I was thinking as well? Eventually, one day down the line, maybe I'll be able to get a studio where I can have nice, the nice lighting. Got a camera, they've got a light source there, one in front, one on the left. Soundproof, but for now, it's in my room. Because I'm like, sometimes even when you look at like Joe Rogan and stuff and all these other H3 podcasts, all these other random podcasts, and you're like, yo, they're in these studios, they've got these light source, they've got these editors for them, the videos and stuff. It's just like, yo, when you're at the bottom, you're trying to make your way up. It's peak. It's peak. You're in the mud, you're in the trenches, and you're trying to get out. It's tough, but stay grinding. Keep it moving. So yeah, Twitter's been on a mad one today, but yeah, let's get into it. So, also as well, if whoever's listening, if it's on YouTube, please leave a like. Comment would be lovely as well. And this is also going to be on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all of that jazz, and timestamps in the description. Because I know no one's listening to me ramble for 30 minutes. I understand. So yeah. All right. So the first one. So we've got my boy Johnny Depp. He's been done dirty. So basically, what I've been wondering, is like, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? Because now it's looking like, as soon as certain details about even a celebrity or just anything in general, it's straight away they're guilty. So obviously, Johnny Depp, he's been going against Amber Heard. Yeah, so obviously we can't hear her, but, we're hearing her statements and stuff. So basically, Johnny Depp, so there's even this tweet here that explains it. His ex claimed that he abused her with no evidence. He lost all his jobs, his rep, everything. He then comes out with actual evidence that she's the one that abused him physically and mentally, and yet no justice. So it's come out here, he's had to come out with a statement saying, in light of recent events, I would like to make the following short statement. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who had gifted me with their support and loyalty. I have been humbled and moved by your many messages of love and concern, particularly over the last few days. Secondly, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. Thank you for reading. It was because when the allegations came out that he was abusing his ex-wife, it was like everyone was like, okay, yeah, Johnny Depp, get him out of here, get his ass out of here. Like, man was losing roles, adverts and stuff, because I know he's in the aftershave advert and stuff like that. What's the flipping, what was it? Let me find it. This is going to annoy me. Dior Sauvage. And it was like, they were like, yeah, take him down. Don't let him play these roles. He's a wife beater, blah, blah, blah. And then it's come out now that he's the one that's been defending himself. And it was Amber that was throwing bottles at him and cut the tip of his finger. I remember there was a picture where it looked like the tip of his whole finger had kind of come off, kind of thing. I'm thinking the only time you should be throwing bottles when you up in the club making it rain. I'm thinking, why are you throwing bottles indoors? And apparently, as well as wild thing, she's taking dumps on his bed. So I'm thinking, yo, imagine that. Let's say you're filming a role. You're Johnny Depp, you're a busy man, you're filming roles, whatever, interviews, you're wanted guy. And then you just come home from a long day at work, filming. You just go into your bedroom, just going to change, and then you're like, what's that smell? You're thinking, hold on, this ain't the time of year for stuff to be, people to be having barbecues. So the smell's bothering you. Then you just turn around and you see a dump straight on your pillow. You'll be thinking, yo, hold on. I know we don't own no pets. Why is there a big dump on my bed? Yo. And then you get into a kerfuffle with your ex. She's throwing bottles, like I said. And you're just like, yo. And then obviously she recorded it, make it seem that when Johnny Depp was slamming cupboards and stuff, like he's the crazy guy, he's wacky. Like it's easy to portray someone as they're the bad person or they're the bad guy, but then you don't get the whole story. Like you said, there's two sides to a coin, you know, not just heads, there's tails as well. So it's just like when the news come out, it's the media is dangerous. The media can spin things, especially Twitter. Twitter can be a hellhole where you've got misinformation. Like if you want to be credible, misinformation isn't a way to go about it. And Twitter's full of like misinformation at times. And when the new thing is you got ratioed, it's like you'll be making a valid point, and then someone will just post a picture or something and say ratioed by blah blah blah, get likes. It's like where's the info? Where's the truth? And I was always saying, like, even when the allegations had come out that Johnny was in the wrong, I was like, yo, we need to hear the full story, man. Like people just painting him like make him lose his job, this and that. Like you're like, there's no polite way to put it. When you're fucking up someone's income or their livelihood, that's gonna bring the demon out of them. Like you're fucking with their bag, Johnny's bag, and it's like, it's just you would go insane. And especially when you've done nothing wrong. Like he might have done something wrong, but from what's being portrayed, it was like he's the devil. Everything that he was doing was wrong. No, Amber, she's the saint. And it's like, yo, it's coming out that she's moving wild as heck. And the brigade of fans and stuff, like there are a lot of like Johnny Depp fans. Like even when I think he was taking the Sun newspaper to court, I think because they were just spreading like lies and stuff, and then they apparently won the case because it's to do with like their borderline, because they're obviously tabloids and stuff, they were borderline within the lines of journalism or something like that. So he didn't win the case. Like I would have had to go in with my best lawyers, and I'm like, yo, if we win this case, if I'm Johnny, we win this case, you lot all getting a pay rise. Yeah, do your job. Like do your job. Like I want to see W's, no L's. But apparently they won. Yeah, it's just wild. It's just, that's the thing. Like also as well, people need to stop with this. Like don't get me wrong, like I'm a fan of like Johnny Depp and stuff. Like I said, I don't know these people individually, never met them, blah blah blah. It's when you see on like social media, people's like, especially before when it was Will and Jada, everyone's like relationship goals, or Jay and Beyonce relationship goals. Then it's like, yo, you remember when Jay-Z was getting beaten up by Beyonce's sister in the lift? Or now we've got the entanglement with Jada and Will. It's like everyone's screaming relationship goals. You don't know these people. Like people will see one picture of what's the Quavo and his girlfriend, and they're like, oh, because it's such a sick picture, relationship goals. I'm like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Like why is it always you just see a picture and you get infatuated and it's like, yes, gotta be this. So yeah, it's weird. I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. Now it's looking like guilty until proven innocent. Or even then, your name will always be attached to what was the allegations against you. Whether let's say you had a weapon, you abused someone, you stole something, the allegations are, oh, this person done that, and it's always going to be attached. So yeah, you're just ruining people's lives. Like I'm saying, you've only got one life to live. You only get one soul, and if it's going to get ruined by lies, propaganda, all of that, and be skewed, the truth be skewed, like people go crazy. So anyway, shout out Johnny Depp, man. It's mad. Yeah, and one day I will get Johnny Depp interview, so you can timestamp this. One day in life I will. I don't know when, but I will. I've got a list. But yeah, wild. Court case is wild. I don't want to go to court. Like I'm saying, the only time you should be throwing bottles is when you're up in the club. I don't know what you're doing at home trying to like slice up people. You're moving mad. Amber's on a mad one. She ready to go green. All right. So next topic. This one had me, the title was so crazy on Twitter. I couldn't believe it. I was like, nah, the way it's worded, it's wild as heck. So I'll find it here. Basically, there's a YouTuber called The Anime Man, And I know he's got a podcast with 2 other members. I know one of them's called Giguk. He does like anime reviews and stuff, and some other guy, I think he does voice acting and stuff like that, and they've got their own YouTube channels. But I think they're living in Japan now. So you know the story sometimes it's like, oh, people who aren't from Japan like anime suddenly move to Japan, and it's like, all right, like don't get me wrong, I want to visit Japan one day, but I just know anime is not reality and it's not what Japan is like. So anyway, so he came out with a tweet that said this, and it had me scratching my head. So it says, Australia just basically banned all hentai, adult goods, and any manga/anime that have children in them. And frankly, I'm quite pissed off. Let's find out how and why this happened. Now, when it already said hentai, I knew this whole tweet was going to be wild as hell. But when it said children, I'm like, okay, whoa, what's going on here? And then he's talking about he's pissed off. I'm thinking, yo, if the Australian government are protecting children and seeing that anime is portraying, see, this is what's happening. This is what these anime like weirdos are. They try and defend when they'll have so in an anime or whatever, they'll have a character that is apparently 100 or 200 years old, but they look like a minor. The fandom, or the anime weirdos, I'm going to call them that, because not just casual anime fans, anime weirdos will say, oh, it doesn't matter if they're portrayed in like a lewd or like, quote, I don't know, like a sexy way or something. They'll say, oh, well, it's just animated, it's just a drawing. I'm thinking, but it's an animated drawing or whatever portraying a child. Why does it have to portray a child? And they try and pass it along by saying, oh, well, they're 200 years old. Bruh, really? Like, come on, dog. It's just, and the Twitter thread was wild. It had like people here saying, I don't know, it has to be trolling. It has to be trolling, because if not, it's nasty, innit? It's like, to all the people who say that lolis and kids in real life are the same, take a look at this picture. One is a kid and one is a drawing. So they've got a picture there. And then they continue to say, you can fap to a loli in hentai because first of all, they aren't real. Secondly, lolis in hentai are drawn in a way that attracts the viewers, like in other hentai tags. All the characteristics of lolis in hentai are the reason why people like them. And I know the reactions are like, yo, bro, what the... Like, it's wild as hell. And it's just like, I don't understand how you can defend it. I haven't seen the video that this YouTuber has placed. I'm like, you know what? There's no even reason for him to be saying why he's pissed off. I don't need to hear it. Like, I genuinely don't need to hear it. I'm trying to find, there was comments that were just making sense in this, like, yo. And then see people here trying to justify it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Then this person, quote, Shadow Boy, says, maybe they forgot that some, quote, children in hentai are like 156 years old. People like, and then this person here, they still look like children though. Personally, I think it doesn't matter what their real age is when they have a child body. I find it weird. Yeah, it's really creepy and weird, odd. And people trying to justify it here. I guess I'm a 24-year-old kid now, lol. If I look like a kid, I'm a kid. It's like these anime, this is where the perception, and I have to agree, where when someone on Twitter says, if you've got an anime profile, I'm not listening to what you're saying. This is the prime example. It's like, yo, I wanted to have my Twitter AVI as Ichigo, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to get categorized as a weirdo. I was like, nah, let me just have my actual profile. And obviously I do the podcast, but it's just, I don't understand the justification and they're trying to just bypass it and sidestep, moonwalk and try and say, nah, they're 200 years old, they're 156. Why is it categorized? Why are you drawing children and trying to justify it? It's like, yo, the government's looking out for the youth. What's the problem? It's just, I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. It's like, yo, it's weird, man. It's weird. And it's like, I feel that some humans just can't, I don't know if it sounds bad saying, I don't think they can distinguish or integrate kind of thing with society when they're so deep ingrained in like the anime, just hentai life. Like, I don't know, it's weird, it's odd, and it's like, you know what? I don't know. I just don't know what to say. When I saw the tweet, I was bamboozled. I was like, huh? What the fuck is going on? Like, it's just wild. It's just weird. Yeah, like people here, they had like a confused as fuck face of Goku, and like people are mad. They can't see cartoon children drawings having sex. Like, it's just weird. It's weird. And yeah, I don't know. That Twitter thread is a minefield. Like I said, it's called the Anime Man Twitter thread, and yeah, I know, you know, when a tweet is controversial as fuck when they've got a lot of quoted tweets on it, because this one's got 6,000 quoted tweets and the actual likes are 10k. Like, when it's the same, around the same, you know this is crazy. And that thumbnail is wild as fuck as well. So I don't know. The Anime Man, he has 500,000 followers on Twitter. I think he's got like 1 million subs. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. It's borderline. There's no reason for the justification of it. Like I said, if the government's made a choice and they're like, yo, this is weird as fuck, banning it, and it's to do with children, like, you can't counteract it. There's no need for it. It's just, I don't know. You know, it's annoying as well, where I have like, sometimes I'll monologue because I know what certain topics I want to talk about in the pod, and I might have some like really good points I want to make, and then as soon as I turn on the cam, I can't remember the points. And then sometimes I might like, I'll render the video and I'm like, yo, I should have added this in. It's so annoying. Like, if I can really think of a crazy like comment or something that I really missed out, I'll add it in the YouTube section, comment section. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's wild. So the next one, Xbox Series X is released to the public. Now the thing is here, yeah, the launch lineup is arse. Like, I don't understand why like fans and stuff are buying it like day one. It's weird because obviously like the price and stuff, it's like there's no people. I'm seeing users playing games that are from last gen on the next gen console. I'm like, yo, you could have just kept your current console at the moment and then wait for, you know, first party games to come out. But it's like, okay, if you want to do that. And Amazon came out and said, what did they say on this? They said that the delays for Xbox Series X pre-orders won't arrive until December the 31st at the latest. Imagine that, like, you've told your children, you're like, oh, what do you lot want? I heard like the consoles are coming out. Which one do you want? Xbox, Dad, Xbox. Now, okay, Timmy, I'll get you Xbox Series X. Don't worry. Pre-order. You're thinking it's coming today and whatnot. Then they send you an email. Amazon's like, yeah, hell no. December 31st. So you got to tell your kids, you're like, you know, when I said you wanted the Xbox, I really meant for Christmas. It's like, yo, Amazon were not coming in clutch. They were saying like other places as well, even in America, I think Walmart and stuff like that, they weren't getting their pre-orders. So I don't know whether it's a case of they put all these pre-orders, but they didn't have enough stock, or it's just the incompetence where they just like couldn't handle it all. I don't know. It's odd. But I would be fuming because I think like a lot of people, they ordered their consoles on various sites like at the same time, even though they didn't want to pay for like 5 consoles. They knew that a lot of them were going to send emails out, and yeah, they've sent that through. So what had me cracking up is that there's a YouTuber called Kid Smooth, and obviously he's got a Twitter account and whatnot. He was just, so Kid Smooth is kind of jokes, but I had to unfollow because sometimes the Xbox propaganda with Kid Smooth is too much. I'm like, my brain is getting fried. So there was a picture here, and he's done a live unboxing, but another user called Hard 8 Times said, the affection this man Kid Smooth has for his Xbox Series X piece of plastic is disturbing, and this man is out here kissing off his Xbox. And there's another picture here. It looks like this guy was like about to bust a nut to the Xbox Series X. It's just like, yo, what's going on? Like, I thought, for me, it's like, even when the like PS5 and stuff was announced, I was like, it's cool, they're pushing the generation forward and stuff. But after like PS3, PS4, I stopped getting like that hyped up. Maybe because I always knew I wanted to upgrade my PC, eventually, because out of like all my friends, I've got the worst PC. Like I'm still rocking i5, 8 gig of RAM, DDR3. I'm not even on DDR4. It's like my graphics card is old. It's like I'm not, but I can still like play games and stuff like in high and stuff. But if I wanted to stream, that's a myth. But yeah, it's just I'm not. There wasn't that much like hype and stuff. I think it's just because I'm seeing some of the practices Sony as well. They're becoming a bit of like a scumbag. Like the way they're pushing, I'll talk about it in a second. They're pushing certain things, and it's like the fan base are just, they're trying to push it and see if the fan base will accept it. From when they were increasing the price of PlayStation Plus, I was like, yo, that's a bit wild, because they've come out now and said they had planned to push the prices of games higher than $70. And I'm like, the games like now for the PS4, they already were like 50, 60. It's like they're trying to go higher. I'm thinking more money again. It's like, what's going on? You have to play for Plus, the console, the crazy price of games. It's like people think because they're like just casual fans and whatnot, buying a console is cheaper. It's not. In straight off the bat, yeah, PC might be more, but then within a few months, like you're already overtaken because of the price of like online games, accessories and stuff. It's a lot of money. So the quote here said, at one point Sony discussed going higher before settling on $70. Settling, you know. Many of the game executives requested anonymity, apparently because they recognize the move is unpopular. In many cases, companies won't acknowledge the fee increase, saying only that prices will vary by title. It's like, How much more money do you need, Sony? How much more money do you need? It's like, that's what people when like I laugh and they're like, oh well, this company, they care about the consumer and stuff. It's like, no, these are businesses. They want to make money, and whether the practice or not affects you, they don't really care. They just want you the dollar. That's all it is. Pounds, euros, yen rule the world. And this one as well had me like, it leads on to when they were talking about an article came out and it says the PS5 will not natively support 1440p. So it will support 1080p, won't support 1440p, and then will jump to 4K. I was like, if you're paying this much, like a lot of money for a console, why is it not supporting 1440p? It doesn't make any sense. So it says here, while most of the discussion around the next gen Xbox Series X and PS5 consoles have been focused on 4K resolution, gamers planning to use a 1440p monitor may have inspected the new hardware to natively support the intermediate resolution. The latest comments from Sony, however, suggest that the PS5 will not. According to IGN Italy, a Sony representative had confirmed that the PS5 will not support 1440p resolution natively. What? The console will still work with the screens, but will either upscale from 1080p resolution or downscale from 4K. The PlayStation 4 Pro had the same limitations, even though many of its games actually run at 1440p. It could also use super sampling to render at 4K and then scale down, which would be supported by some PS5 games too. To me, it seems that Sony just got lazy and was like, you know what? A lot of these casuals are buying just 4K ready TVs. Let's just forget 1440p, implementing it. Let's just jump to 4K. And it's like, nah, it's just stingy stuff that Sony, I've noticed, are doing. Because last gen, it was, everyone was cussing out Xbox from when wasn't their CEO, it was like their head of their Xbox department and stuff. And they were like, well, what if you don't have an internet connection and you want to play Xbox One? They're just like, well, stick with the 360. And then after that, their sales and stuff went down. People were like, yo, they're not consumer friendly, all of that jazz. And it's like Sony are just like, you know what? We know we won this gen. People are going to buy our products. Like, what are you going to do? And then there was another one linked to this that said, oh, Sony's come out now and said, because I think people were complaining, they were like, well, if there's enough of the public complaining and voicing their concerns, then they'll implement the 1440p support. It's like, yo, this is why PC gamers don't pay for online, because they outspoken and they'll say, yo, we're not doing this, we're not accepting this. But with Sony, it's like, yo, the consumers are just like at home, bend over, turn back and say to Sony, do what you want to do. And it's just like, Sony's like, okay. Like, it's the practices of, I feel that always say this, casual consumers are destroying the gaming market. And all these companies are just going to push certain like agendas or transaction fees, DLCs and stuff, when it could have been implemented in the console already. But because people just accept shite, it's just like, all right, cool. So it's weird. It's just crazy. And with that link to Sony, there was a clip from GameSpot that was reviewing the Spider-Man game. And I didn't think nothing of it, but it had a lot of traction on Twitter. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? So the caption was like, yo, what the fuck, GameSpot? And then this was the clip. And I was like what the actual reviewer was saying that writes for GameSpot. It was just weird.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it, especially as the music begins to swell. Speaking of,
I was like, let me play it just one more time, just in case you didn't,
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it, especially as the music begins to swell. Speaking of,
What does that mean? what does that mean? The exaggerated swagger of a black teen? Huh? It means there's too much black up in Spider-Man. I'm just like, huh? What? That's what essentially it was. I'm just like, what does that even mean? It's just, yo, sometimes we can't win. Sometimes we can't win. It's like, yo, when Spider-Man before in the previous game was backflipping, jumping up, somersaults, twirls up in the air, I didn't hear them say it was exaggerated swagger of a white teen. But as soon as it's a black character, what does that mean? Exaggerated swagger of a black teen. For me, I just find it hilarious and just so odd. It's like, I wasn't angry enough. It was just like, yeah, it's just a sigh, because it's just like, black folk is just, we just trying to get these, see us represented in certain genres of media. And it's like, this is what's being portrayed. It's like, you blackening it up. It's just like, huh? Yeah, it's odd. When I saw that, I was just like, I'm going to use that quote going forward. I'm using, what was it? The exaggerated swagger of a black teen. Everything I'm doing forward, that's what I'm going to say. It's just weird, man. It's just, journalism and stuff is really odd. And it's like, I think someone replied to it who wrote for, Alessandro Filari. They said, hi, GameSpot editor here. If you actually bothered to read and listen to Jordan's review, who is black, the majority of it examined Miles' experience of being a black character in New York City. This shameful tweet of yours just reeks of you assuming he was white and speaking out of turn. And then the person who originally posted it said, yo, I'm black. They got loads of likes. Said, yo, I'm black, and I still think it's wrong for him to word it like that. For a game that inspires everyone to be a hero and relate to him, it sounds bad no matter what. And thanks for calling me shameful, by the way. It's just, it's just, well, someone says here, hi, I'm black. It's cool for other black people to talk about things that are culturally black. Swagger is black. It fucking rules, and not something you have to be worried about or shocked by. Okay, that one was a shit take right there. Amante there with the shit take. But yeah, it's just like, yo, it's weird. Like I said, I didn't hear before in the previous Spider-Man game, with the swagger of a white teen, but then this one is the swagger of a black teen. It's like, bro, can we just be Spider-Man and that's it? Like, yo, you're just trying to be a superhero out here, play a video game. So yeah, it's odd. These journalists, man, they're weird. A lot of them just write some really dodgy, weird articles, or they're just shy at video games. And when it goes hand in hand, you just get a cocktail, made of disaster. So yeah, one of my friends saw that, like, I was laughing because I was just thinking, what's really going on? Like, what is actually going on? So The last one, this one had me like laughing to myself, but it's true. So I saw a clip of it was on Lotte God's YouTube channel, and obviously like rages and stuff, video games, but when he actually talks that real, it's funny. He was like, he said, if he was to have a child with what does he say, Megan Thee Stallion, it has to be for scientific research, because he said it, and it was low-key true. I was thinking, he's like, when do you see a 6-foot girl that's got like breasts, ass? And he was like, and I was thinking, yeah, it's like, usually it's always, oh, tall guy, short girl, or the short girl looking for the tall guy. And it's like, yeah, cool. But even when you meet people randomly, might be at work and whatnot, and then someone's like, oh, because I'm tall, they're like, oh, you're tall, really tall. I was like, yeah, my dad's tall, my mum's short, average height. But it's like, you never have, oh yeah, my dad's tall and my mum's tall. It's like true. If I like meet random people, especially a chick, she's 9 out of 10 times going to be shorter than me. Except for like one time when I was doing my work experience one time, this girl was taller, and I thought, raw, she's like taller than me. I was like, okay. Like, I think tall is the wave, because like you would make some really, like, for science research purposes, you could make some really extraordinary humans. Like, if you think about it, like me, if I was celeb, I was thinking, all right, cool, tall celeb, Gal Gadot, if that's her name, that plays Wonder Woman. Was it Sarah Silverman, Meg? I was thinking, okay, there's a choice. But then you've got a lot of these tall guys that's celebs, and then when you see their wife or girlfriend, she's like 5'2". It's like, yeah, that's the standard recipe. But for scientific purposes, you could really make some angels on Earth. Like, you know what I mean? But you know what's crazy? Even when they said back in the flipping, this was like childhood days, I remember reading like, they said, oh, angels came down from Earth, had children with the women on Earth, and then that's why they got giants. And I was like, bruh, like, I remember saying that to my friend, and I was like, technically, I'm like a demigod, because I'm like over 6 foot. And then one of my friends was like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm thinking, bruh, like, let me just speak my truth. Let me just gas myself up. But yeah, I was thinking, like, for scientific purposes, that might be the wave. Like, no 5'5" queens. It's all about them 6'5" queens. You know what I mean? Taller than me can, like, when I'm on playing basketball or something, I'm getting dunked on. You know, it's peak. But, and I was thinking, you know what? Because of how this is random, politically correct certain stuff are becoming now, I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I feel eventually Twitter, from when you follow people on Twitter, it's going to change to attend. They won't say follow anymore. Some I actually guarantee it. Eventually down the line, someone's going to make a thread and say, yo, why is it that Twitter says follow? It should say blah, blah, blah. And they're going to change likes to appreciate. I guarantee eventually down the line, something's going to change. Because remember from before, it didn't have likes and whatnot. They've added that in, the heart system and stuff like that. They're changing it to make it a bit more, you know, don't want to offend certain stuff, but they want to change it up, but they're not saying why. It's just people are going to start atting Jack on Twitter like, yo, what's going on? But yeah, I don't know, this week is going to be crazy just because of all the new the PS5 comes out in 2 days. The Xbox Series X is already out. People playing old games, don't know what they're doing. It's like, yo, all I'm doing, eventually going to save up, upgrade my PC, and then I'm moving away from console. Like, I'm not just paying for online stuff. The price of the games is ridiculous. I'm seeing there's a person that I follow that lives in Canada. When they were adding up the cost of, like, I think NBA and stuff like that, and delivery costs and stuff, it was reaching like $90, nearly touching 100. I'm like, you ain't even got the effing console yet. So yeah, it's all mad. It's all mad. But like I was saying, Twitter at times can be a great place, but also a hellhole. Some people are full of shit takes. I don't know, man, but that's me, Durrell. Thanks for listening. There's timestamps. This is on YouTube. You know, trying to get it out there, put the content out. Thank you to any new people that's joined in. Follow me. I don't know why people follow me. I'm glad they do. But like I said, stay safe, drink your water, tell your family you love them. We only have one soul. Gotta make the most of it. Anyway, I'm out. Deuces.